Welcome to OP's Math E-Pathshala.
Direct products. Okay. So in the previous lecture, where we stopped at the definition of internal direct product, that is, for given subgroups H1, H2, Hk of a group G, and let capital H is the internal product of H1, H2, Hk, then H is said to be an internal direct product of H1, H2, Hk if one of the conditions of the theorem that we have proved in the previous lecture, suppose condition 1, that is the map from H to the external direct product of H1, H2, Hk, that is H1 cross H2 cross Hk. So that map, that is F colon H2 H1 cross H2 cross Hk. So the natural mapping, that is Hk goes to the element H1 H2 Hk if this map is an isomorphism. That is H is an, that is F is an isomorphism from H to H1 cross H2 cross Hk. So that was the definition of internal direct product of k many subgroups of a group G. Now, from that definition, one can prove that suppose if G be a group with two normal subgroups, suppose we are considering two normal subgroups H1 and H2 of the group G, having the properties that such that H1 intersection H2 will contain exactly the singleton, exactly the identity of the group, and G is the internal product of H1 and H2. Then we can show that so thus this says that if G be a group with two normal subgroups H1 and H2 such that H1 intersection H2 equal to the identity E and H is the internal product of H1 and H2, then G is isomorphic to the external direct product of H1 and H2. That is, it says that if G is an internal direct product of two normal subgroups H1 and H2, then G must be isomorphic to the external direct product of those two subgroups. So this can be done using So what would be the proof? So one can define a map F colon G to H1 cross H2 by the rule F of G. But what is G? G can be written as product of H1 and H2. This. And since G is the internal direct product, because H1 and H2 satisfies these two following conditions. That is, H1 and H2 contains exactly the identity and their internal product is G. So every element of capital G can be expressed uniquely as H1 and H2 from the theorem which we have proved in our previous lecture. That is one of the conditions of the theorem. So therefore G will be expressed uniquely as H1, H2, and for that reason we can write it out as H1, H2. So this brings up a map from capital G to H1 cross H2. Now it is a routine checkup that if we consider two elements G, G dashed, then we must have G can be written as H1, H2, and G dashed can be written as H1 dashed, H2 dashed. Now since H1 and H2 are two normal subgroups having the property that their intersection will contain exactly the identity element. That is, H1 intersection H2 will contain exactly the identity. And being normal subgroups, one can prove that for any two elements H1, H2 will have H2, H1. So H1, H2 can be written as H2, H1. So they commutes. And for that reason, since this is an element from H2 and this is an element from H1, so we can write down it as H1 dashed, H2, H2 dashed. So thus, this gives, this is H1, H1 dashed, and this is H2, H2 dashed. And therefore, this will be mapped to H1, H1 dashed, H2, H2 dashed. And that is H1, H2, H1 dashed, H2 dashed. So that is F of G, F of G dashed. So therefore, so this shows that F is a homomorphism. F is a homomorphism. So if we want to evaluate the kernel of F, then we will have kernel of F is set of all elements G for which F of G will be the identity element of H1, H2. That means E. That is set of all G where G can be expressed as H1, H2 uniquely. such that so f of H1H2 is E, that is set of all G belongs to H1H2 such that H1H2 equal to identity. So that is set of all G equal to H1H2, H1, H2 both are identity. So that means it contains exactly the identity. And this proves that, F is an isomorphism from G onto the external direct product of H1, H2. That is, G is isomorphic to H1 cross H2. And this proves that if G is the internal direct product of H1 and H2, then G must be the external direct isomorphic to the external direct product of H1 and H2. So if internal direct product exists for a group, internal direct product of two subgroups, normal subgroups of a group exist, then one can say that this is the external direct product of those groups. So for that reason, you can say that yes, if internal direct product of normal subgroups of a group exists, then in that case internal direct product and external direct product both are similar, that is they coincide, and we call them as direct products. Okay. Now the first problem what we should investigate is that is it true that external direct product of two abelian groups will be abelian or not? External direct product of two abelian groups, external direct product of two abelian groups is abelian or not? So this is the question. Now the answer is yes for that case, because if we consider a group G which is an external direct product of two groups H and K, where H and K both are abelian groups, then if we want to show that G is abelian, so let us consider two elements. One is HK and another one is H dashed K dashed. H dashed K dashed. Now do the operation in between HK and H dash K dash, that is HK dot H dash K dash. Then what will happen? This is H dash K dash. But we have already considered H and K to be abelian. So for that reason, this H dash must be H dash H and K dash must be K dash K. Okay, K dash K, and therefore it is H dash K dash, it is HK by the definition of the composition defined on two elements in H cross K, and this proves that H cross K is abelian. Now we are moving to the question, to the same question for cyclic groups. That is, the question is that firstly we need to confine ourselves to the finite cyclic groups of order n, order m and n. So if we consider two finite cyclic groups, one is of order m, another is of order n, then what will be their external direct product? So this is the question. Will it be again a cyclic group of finite order or not? Now I would like to exhibit an example that let us consider a group. What is Z2, and another group, cyclic group of order 4, that is Z4, and then we consider the external direct product of them. Now Z2 is a cyclic group of order 2, Z4 is a cyclic group of order 4. Then what would be your conclusion regarding this external direct product formed by Z2 and Z4? Is it cyclic or not? That is the question. Now, if you look at the elements of this group, you will find that let us suppose A class, B class be any arbitrary element of Z2 and Z2 cross Z4. Then what will happen? Then to find out the order of this element, so let us add it to itself. Then what will happen? The first coordinate will be 2A class and the second would be 2B class. But A class is in the group Z2, so it must be 0 class. 0 class in Z2. Now again we add A class, B class to the previous one. That is, it is 2 of A class, B class, and this is 3 A class, B class. Then what will happen? So in that case, so it is 3 A class, B class. So this would be again A class plus 3 B class. Now since B class is in Z4, so 3 B class will not be 0. So then we add again so it is 2 A class, 4 B class. So that means it is 0 class, 0 class. So if one choose A class, B class as 1 class, 1 class, then we see that order of 1 class, 1 class will be 4. Yeah. Just for example. And for any arbitrary element, we see that the order of, for any AB, so we see that the order of A class B class must be less or equal to 4, because 4 A class B class is 0, 0. But what is the order of the group? But the order of the group is 8. The order of the group is 8, although the order of the elements are less or equal to 4, and this implies that this will never be a cyclic group, because in a cyclic group you must find an element of the order which is equal to the order of the group. Will never be a cyclic group, since it doesn't contain any element of order 8, because every element of Z2 cross Z4 is of order less or equal to 4. So therefore Z2 cross Z4 will never be a cyclic group, although Z2 and Z4 are cyclic groups. And this example shows that in general you cannot say that the external direct product of two cyclic groups will be a cyclic group. Now again, if we look at the group Z2 cross Z3, let us consider this group Z2 cross Z3, then what will happen? Let us consider an element 1 plus 1 plus belongs to Z2 cross Z3. Then again we add 1 plus 1 plus finitely many times. So let us first add them twice. Then what will happen? Then it is 2 class, it is 2 class. So now it is 2 class in Z2, so it is 0 class. So now again, so it is 2 1 plus 1 plus. Now it is 3 1 plus 1 plus. Then what will happen? It is 1 plus and it is 3 plus. So this will never be 0 in Z2 cross Z3. So again we need to add it again. So it is 2 plus and it is 4 plus. So now it is 0 plus, it is 0 plus. And this shows that the order of 1 plus 1 plus in Z2 cross Z3 is 4. Oh, sorry. I made a mistake. Sorry. Sorry. Yeah. So this is 0. Sorry. Since this 3 class is in Z3, so it is 1 plus 0 class. Now if we add them again, 1 plus, so it is 2 class and it is again 1 class. So it is 0 class, 1 plus. So yeah. So again, five times 1 plus 1 plus, that is, it is again 1 plus, it is 2 plus. and it is 6 times 1 plus 1 plus, so it is 2 plus, and it is 3 plus, so it is 0 plus, and it is also 0 plus. And this proves that the order of 1 plus 1 plus in Z2 cross Z3 is 6. Okay. And this proves that Z2 cross Z3 contains an element of order 6, which is the order of the group Z2 cross Z3. So this proves that Z2 cross Z3 is cyclic. So thus in one example we see that the external direct product of two cyclic groups is not a cyclic group, and in another example we have shown that external direct product of Z2 cross Z2 and Z3 is cyclic. So from that reason we can say that sometimes it is true and sometimes it is not. Now the question is, under what condition is it true that external direct product of two cyclic groups will surely be a cyclic group? If we look at the examples, we see that for Z2 cross Z4, it is true that GCD of 2, 4 is 2, and for Z2 cross Z3, GCD of 2, 3 is 1. So this is a property which the first example doesn't enjoy, but the second one enjoys. That is, GCD of 2 and 4 is 2, which is not equal to 1, but the GCD of 2 and 3 is 1. Maybe this property will make some difference between these two examples. And the answer is yes. We can state the theorem as Zm cross Zn is cyclic if and only if the only condition is they are prime to each other. GCD of Mn is 1. Or one can show that Zm cross Zn is isomorphic to Zmn if and only if GCD of M, N is 1. So how the proof goes? Now yeah. Okay. So let us suppose that Zm cross Zn is isomorphic to Zmn. Okay. So you have to show that GCD of M, N is 1. So let GCD of M, N is D. We prove that D is 1. So we prove that D is 1. Now since Zm cross Zn is isomorphic to Zmn, that means Zm cross Zn is a cyclic group. Zm cross Zn is a cyclic group of order Mn. Then if we let A class B class be a generator of Zm cross Zn, then we see that firstly order of A class B class is Mn, and secondly, since we have considered that GCD of Mn is D, so we just write down Mn by D. But Mn by D, although it looks like a fraction, but it is not. It is an integer, since D is the GCD of Mn. So Mn by D of times AB. That is, we are adding A class B class up to Mn by D times. Then what we shall get? We shall get Mn by dA class, Mn by dB class. Now for the first case, we just write it down as, the first one is N by D MA class, and the second one will be written as NB class. Now N by D is an integer since D divides N. M by D is also an integer since D divides N. And also A class belongs to Zm, B class belongs to Zn. So the order of A class is M, order of B class is N. And for that reason, this is 0, this is also 0. So this is 0 plus, this is also 0 plus. So thus we have proved that Mn by D times of A class B class is 0 plus 0 plus. So for that reason, order of A class B class must be, so order of A class B class must be less or equal to Mn by D. But what is order of A class B class? It is Mn. So Mn is less or equal to Mn by D means Mn by D is also less or equal to Mn for D divides Mn. So Mn by D is the quotient of, in the division of Mn by D. So Mn by D is less or equal to Mn, and this proves that Mn equal to Mn by D, that is D equals to 1, that is GCD of M comma N is 1. So if Zm cross Zn is a cyclic group, then it is obvious that, then it is true that GCD of M cross M comma N is 1. Now conversely, now let us prove the converse. So conversely, suppose that GCD of M comma N is 1. We need to prove that Zm cross Zn is cyclic. So we would like to place a trick here. What is the trick? The trick is that we are considering the element of Zm cross Zn, which is 1m class 1n class. That is the 1 class in Zm and 1 class in Zn. Then if we let its order be D. So our goal is to show that this D is Mn, which proves that Zm cross Zn consists of an element of order Mn, which is the order of the group. So this will prove that Zm cross Zn is cyclic. Now, since order of 1 class 1m class 1n class is D, so now D of D times of 1m plus 1n plus, so it must be 0 0. So that means D1m plus is 0 plus, D1n plus is 0 plus. Yeah, but 1m plus is a generator of the group Zm. So order of 1m plus is m and order of 1n plus is n, which implies that m must divide d, n must divide d. But also our assumption is that GCD of m comma n is 1 and m divides d, n divides d. So also since GCD of m comma n is 1 implies this mn will divide d. So that means since it divides d, so that mn must be less or equal to d. Now again d is the order of 1m 1n, so that d must be less or equal to mn. So this proves that order of 1m plus 1n plus equals to d and d is equal to mn. So this shows that Zm cross Zn consists of an element 1m plus 1n plus, which serves as a generator of the group Zm cross Zn. That is, Zm cross Zn is a cyclic group. So hence Zm cross Zn has a generator 1m plus and which makes it a cyclic group. Now, since as we have shown in the basic group theory that every finite cyclic group is isomorphic to every finite cyclic group of order n is isomorphic to Zn. So since Zm cross Zn is a finite cyclic group of order Mn, so this Zm cross Zn must be isomorphic to Zmn. Yeah. So this completes the proof. So I would like to finish it off by giving an example where we shall show that although G will be the internal direct product of H and K, that is, we will consider two subgroups of a group G where H and K both will satisfy the property that G equal to HK, that is internal product of H and K, and H intersection K contains the identity element. But G will not be isomorphic to the external direct product of H and K. What is the reason? Because the reason is that whenever we have proved that G is the internal direct product of two subgroups of a group G, then we have mentioned the fact that these subgroups are normal. So this is necessary that these subgroups should be normal subgroups. Just we'll look at the example and we'll find the interesting fact that if we consider the group G, which is a symmetric group of order 3, that is, it contains one permutation, identity permutation, 1-2 cycle, 1-3 cycle, 2-3 cycle, 1-2-3 cycle, and 1-3-2 cycle. 6 elements. 6 elements. And A3 is the alternating group. That is, this is our H. Suppose this is our H, which is the identity element, which consists of the identity element 1-2-3 cycle and 1-3-2 cycle. And next we consider another subgroup of S3, which is generated by the 2 cycle 1-2. So that is, it consists of identity 1 and the 2 cycle 1-2. Then G will be HK. But why? Why G will be HK? Why it is true? Also note that H intersection K has exactly the identity permutation. This is 1, this is 1. These are common. There are no other common elements in between H and K. But why G is internal product of H and K? Why? What is the reason? What is the reason? Because the reason is that since A3 is a subgroup of S3 of index 2, A3 is of index 2. In S3. That is, S3 can be written as A3 union a coset determined by an element of S3 which is not in A3. So you may consider this 1-2 cycle. That is, the coset will be 1-2 A3. This, and for that reason, so yeah, this G, this A3 is of index 2 in S3. Since A3 is of index 2 in S3, because of the fact that S3 contains 6 elements and A3 contains 3 elements. So by Lagrange's theorem, the quotient group will contain 2 elements, which is the index of A3 in S3. So what does it mean by index? by an index of a subgroup in a group. That is the number of left cosets of that subgroup in the group, or right cosets. So here, what is the number of left cosets or right cosets of A3 in S3? 2. One coset is A3 and another one is 1A3. This shows that if phi is an element in S3, then that phi is either in A3 or in 1 to A3. That is, either phi is an element of A3 and then phi can be written as phi E. E is the identity, that is phi 1 permutation, phi dot 1 permutation, and if phi is in this, so phi will be written as 1, 2 and a member of this psi. Or if we consider the right coset, we can write down it as psi 1, 2. Yeah, or psi dash 1, 2. Where psi dash is an element of A3. So thus phi is in either case, phi is the internal product of elements of A3 and this K, because K has been generated by 1, 2 cycle. So this G is the internal product of H and K, and H intersection K contains exactly the identity permutation. Okay, but G will not be isomorphic to H cross K. Why? Why it is true? Why it is true? Because now we see that this H is A3. Now what is A3? A3 is a group of 3 elements. That is a cyclic group of 3 elements. So this H will be isomorphic to Z3. And what is K? K is a group of 2 elements. That is a cyclic group of 2 elements. That is, it is the isomorphic to Z2. But the GCD of 2 and 3 is 1. So it will be isomorphic to Z3 cross 2. That is Z6. That is, H cross K is a cyclic group. But what is G? G is S3, which is a non-abelian group. So this contradicts the fact that G will never be isomorphic to the external direct product of H and K. Now what is the reason? So what is the reason? So why did it happen? Because of the fact that, what is the reason? কে বলতে পারবে? কারণটা কি? Hello. Now check whether A3 and the group K are normal subgroups or not. Normal subgroups of S3 or not. Now A3 being a subgroup of index 2, so it must be normal. So you must pass it to the group K. So check whether K is normal or not. Let us consider an element 1, 3 in SA3, sorry, S3 and 1, 2 in K. Then what will happen? Then find out the product 1, 2, 3 inverse. Now what is 1, 2, 3 inverse? What is a 1, 2, 3 inverse? Inverse of 1, 2, 3, what is inverse of 1, 2, 3? 1, 3, 2. Then what will happen? So 1, 2, 3. Now 1 goes to 3. Now here 3 goes to 3. And here 3 goes to 1. So 1 goes to. Now 2 goes to 1. 2 goes to 1. 1 goes to 2. And 2 goes to 3. So it is 2 goes to 3. 3 goes to 2. 2 goes to 1. 1 goes to 2. It is a 2-3 cycle which is not in the group K. So this shows that K is not normal in S3. So this example indicates that although all the conditions of uh, of all the conditions of a group G be an internal direct product except one. What is that? That is the groups are normal. So this condition is missing in this example. Although other conditions has been satisfied by these groups. Okay. So whenever you are checking that is it an internal direct product or not, you need to check all these things. ঠিক আছে, বুঝতে পারলে ব্যাপারটা? মানে এইচ আর কে দুজনে নরমাল হচ্ছে না, অথচ দেখো দুটো কন্ডিশনই স্যাটিসফাই করছে, ইন্টারনাল ডিরেক্ট প্রোডাক্ট হচ্ছে আবার ইন্টারসেকশনের মধ্যে আইডেন্টি ছাড়া আর কেউ নেই। ভুলবশত কেউ বলতে পারে যে এটা ইন্টারনাল ডিরেক্ট প্রোডাক্ট চেক না করে। এইটা একটা এক্সাম্পল যেখান থেকে আমাদের আরেকটু জেনারেল একটা ডেফিনেশন আমরা পরে করব, এখন নয়, মানে এমএসসি যখন পড়বো আমরা দেখতে পারি, সেটাকে আমরা বলবো সেমি ডিরেক্ট। এই যে এটা হলো, এই যে জিটা হলো, এই জিটা হচ্ছে সেমি ডিরেক্ট প্রোডাক্ট অফ ওখানে ওই দুটো নরমাল না হলেও মানে জাস্ট হ্যাভিং দিস টু, এটাকে বলে সেমি ডিরেক্ট। আরো জেনারেল একটা আলোচনা, ঠিক আছে তো? ওকে।
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like and share.